Did you know Fortnite were working on their very own film, and my icon skin was meant to have an additional style that was ultimately never released? As we take a look at these and 50 other Fortnite facts that I bet you didn't know. Like in the very beginning of Fortnite, in the in-game files, V-Bucks were originally going to be called Battle Bucks. An unused text file says Battle Bucks, currency earned by playing the Battle Royale game, which was updated to be V-Bucks, but I think Battle Bucks actually sounds cooler. And just 2 days before Chapter 2 Season 2 launch with the iconic Midas skin, they decided to change up how he looked, as he was originally going to have glasses. It was such a last-minute change that the Midas statue within his yacht still had the glasses on it, but the Midas skin that we all use to this day has no glasses to be seen anywhere. And you'll all recognize this sound effect when you open a door in Fortnite, but what if I play you this clip from Breaking Bad? You can hear the exact same noise, and that's because both places sampled the exact same door sound. I bet not many people have ever noticed that. It's actually been 5 years since Fortnite started working on weapon charms, little attachments to your guns to make them more customizable. There were code names for these charms, and they were in the in-game files ready to release in 2019, but then nothing happened with them. In 2021, some more files were added, but then earlier this year, charms were completely removed from the game, but I'd still love them to be a part of Fortnite. A bit like Fortnite China skins, as they have exclusive and slightly different versions to our skins to abide by Chinese laws, and in the Chapter 2 Season 8 trailer, they accidentally used a Chinese Fortnite version of the Torin outfit, because in China, they're not allowed to use skulls. So they changed her mask design, and that skin was the one that was used in the trailer for the whole world, even though it wasn't available outside of a Chinese game. And it's crazy to think that before Fortnite, if you played on an Xbox, PlayStation, or PC, you guys couldn't play together until Epic Games approached Sony and they agreed to allowing cross-play to a point now where all games, no matter where you're playing on, can play together, completely changing the way that we play video games. And this fact will blow your mind, as in 2018, Fortnite made more money than the Avengers Infinity War film. That's right, Avengers Infinity War grossed $2 billion, and Fortnite that year made $2.4 billion, making it a record for the most annual revenue of a video game ever. And keen-eyed players noticed back in Chapter 4 Season 4 that the glider that went along with the Fish Thick Battle Pass skin actually had a secret animation. You didn't have to be using the Fish Thick skin, it would work with any skin, but as you glided down on the map, if you left your controller alone, your character would start doing pull-ups, making it the only glider to include this animation. And I had no idea that the Clockwork's back bling, released all the way back in Chapter 1 Season 6 as a part of the Oktoberfest set, is an actual functioning clock, meaning it will tell you the real time as you're playing Fortnite. And look, I don't know about you, but I actually never thanked the bus driver, but I'm sure a lot of people do, and it was actually a suggestion from the community that as we flew onto the map, we could thank them, and after getting 6,000 signatures for it to be added into the game, Epic turned around and just 3 weeks later, it became a feature. And the only time in history that Epic Games have given out a Battle Pass skin outside of the time period that Battle Pass was available was all the way back with the original Boogie Down competition, where the runners-up from this competition would get the Sparkle Specialist outfit. This competition concluded after Season 2 finished, meaning these runners-up are the only people in the world to get a Battle Pass skin outside of the Battle Pass itself. And in the in-game files, all live events have a secret code name. And the hilarious story behind this, as you can see all of the code names on screen here, is that whatever food the person at Epic is eating when they first start working on this live event project, it's a secret code name that they end up using in the in-game files. It took years for people to notice that the center island in the Chapter 2 map is actually a miniature version of the Chapter 1 map, condensed down into a very small form. If you look at them from above, you can see the shape perfectly line up with each other. It's a bit scary to find out that loot llamas actually have knives up their legs. If you look at this official Fortnite t-shirt, you can see the design shows that if you took a llama's leg off, there would actually be a knife inside there. And with the addition of Creative Royale back in 2022, players could control the speed of the battle bus, revealing the fact that the default speed is 50 meters per second, meaning that battle bus is traveling through the air at 111 miles an hour. And did you know Nintendo and Epic Games were actually in talks years ago to add Nintendo characters to the game? One of the ones that was actually teased is Samus from Metroid Prime, but for some reason she never got released. Turns out later down the line that we found out that Nintendo only wanted their skins to be seeable on Nintendo platforms and no other consoles, and Epic Games would not agree to this, meaning that we've never had a Nintendo skin ever released. And when Deadpool was the secret skin back in Chapter 2, if you headed into his secret location and access his computer in his secret room in the Battle Pass screen, these would typically present the weekly challenge throughout that season. But after the 9 weeks of challenges were done, in the 10th week, you could go up to his PC, click on the Deadpool icon and actually access a skiing minigame. And we all know that Fortnite launched initially with Save the World, a zombie fighting game, and then Battle Royale came out a little bit later. The crazy thing is they turned around the Battle Royale game mode in just 2 months. Before the release of Battle Royale, they'd consider the sales of Fortnite as a complete failure, so it literally saved the game. Back in 2017, Epic took inspiration from the community again, as a fan concept for a POI called Haunted Hills was released, and 6 weeks later, it was literally added into the game alongside Tilted Towers. And sometimes Epic adds secret collaborations into the game that they don't properly announce, like the Segway Tour, which is an emote from the Chapter 3 Season 2 Battle Pass. But if you actually take a closer look at this emote, there was actual Segway branding on the emote, making for an awesome crossover. And the Maven skin, released all the way back in Chapter 1, was actually designed by someone from the DreamWorks Artist Studios. DreamWorks have made films like Shrek, Madagascar, Kung Fu Panda, and more. And the male equivalent of this skin was actually a PlayStation exclusive that I never went and redeemed. And the Fortnite subreddit were also accountable for the naming of Kevin the Cube as it arrived on the island. The Fortnite Reddit went crazy with the arrival of this weird purple cube, nicknaming it Kevin. Fortnite went on to make this its official name, so when they added cosmetics into the game, the cube's literally called Kevin now. Years after the release of the Bright Bomber outfit and the matching glider, people realized if you wore this glider with the full sunshine and rainbow set, it would actually cause confetti to come out of a glider as yet another secret animation. And did you know there's an official Star Wars line that was only ever played during a Fortnite live event that's directly connected to the Star Wars films and universe, but never played anywhere else? Meaning that if you watched the film, the only way to hear this line was to be in-game during the 2019 Live at Risky Reels event. We could hear Palpatine talking, making the connection between the Star Wars and Fortnite world literally canon. And I've got my very own secret. I love everything about my icon set, but I did change one thing that I may regret a little bit. As you know, I have many different styles and many different options for my skin, and one of the final styles is a fully silver version of my outfit. However, Epic actually presented to me a black and red version of this skin that I thought looked a little bit too evil and scary. You can see a recreation of what it looks like on screen here, but to this day, I actually think this version was probably cooler than the silver version, and I wish I'd stuck with Epic's idea. And as exciting as it is to get new crew skins every month, these skins can actually return. And the official blog states that previous packs may become available later down the line, and it says grab it before it rotates out for now. And going even further back in time, Fortnite was actually announced originally in 2011, making this game far older than anyone realizes. The game looked a lot scarier, had a different logo, and didn't even go into alpha testing until 2014, so it took the guys a long time to refine Fortnite and make it what it is today. And we all know now that there are bots in a lot of our games in Fortnite, but when they were first being tested out before their official release, these guys could actually crank 90s. Can you imagine being in a game and a bot cranking a 90 on you? This is a feature that never got properly released, but is something that they're originally testing, and maybe one day they'll be able to crank on us. And the Indiana Jones skin actually has a secret on its head. You can only see this if you go into replay and put the camera through the character's hat. See that on its head, there's a secret message that says Liam and Finn love dad. A really sweet message, probably from the artist that designed the skin. But unfortunately, in the very next season, Epic actually had to remove it, so it's no longer there. And Fortnite isn't popular in all countries around the world. So to try and tackle the South Korean market, they launched an ad campaign with adverts, posters, which all featured Chris Pratt to try and promote the game and get people to play Fortnite. And one of the great things about the game is the Unreal Engine, which is what Fortnite's made on, is also developed by Epic Games. So whenever their Unreal Engine gets better, Fortnite's updated to be better as well. We've seen that with the changes visually of Fortnite over the years and making the game run better and better. And one of the only things limiting us to 100-player lobbies right now is limitations with Unreal Engine. Once we jump ahead to Unreal Engine 6, which will probably be in a few years' time, we could see 200-player Fortnite lobbies, which is something the CEO of Epic Games has tweeted out saying he wants to happen. Back in Chapter 3, we saw the release of the Squad Origins set. These skins are really cool, representing different seasons we've had in Fortnite. But the back blings are extra special because each of the styles are actually a direct replica of the physical pins the Epic Game employees get for each season they work on in Fortnite. I mean, those pins now digitally live for everyone that owns a skin pack in game. And believe it or not, there's actually a Minecraft banner in Fortnite. Before Battle Royale officially released, Epic partnered up with a load of YouTubers where you could add in your own logo into the game. Some of these included PewDiePie, Muselk, Vanos, and more. And the YouTuber Chaos Flow 44 set theirs as a Minecraft watermelon banner, which Epic actually allowed, and only people that signed up to play Epic Games through his link got access to this, making it a mega rare banner. And the most recent Metallica concert was fully built in UEFN and not even made by Epic themselves, but actually a separate company that specializes in virtual reality and augmented reality in the metaverse, where over 10,000 parts were used to construct this epic concert. And for some reason, Nintendo's Kirby managed to sneak into a trailer many years ago for Party Royale back in 2020. You could actually see Kirby on the big screen. Epic realized their mistake and went to blur it out because I just don't think it was meant to be there at all. And back in Chapter 1, when people were trying to work out what Epic Games were going to do next in Fortnite, a lot of people would often look to the posters to try and get teasers for what was coming next. Except all they were actually looking at is official posters for some old games that Epic had made years and years ago. They just converted into a poster and put into Fortnite. And I'm sure you all remember the chaos when we went into the black hole for several days with no Fortnite at the end of Chapter 1. The crazy thing is, Donald Mustard, who suggested that they did this, actually wanted us to be completely blacked out and in the black hole for 1 month. And an awesome cosmetic secret feature is if your backbling, pickaxe, or character has any fire on them and they jump in the water, that fire will actually be extinguished until you get out of the water and dry off. And in the very early days of Fortnite tournaments, there was a huge prize pool of $1.5 million, except the point system was really bad. They ended up having to use a tiered system, and if anyone got the same amount of points, they ended up splitting the winners by deciding who had the most victories, eliminations, and average placement points. But 2 players tied on all of these stats, both ending up in 33rd position. And to decide who would win out of both of them, they simply flipped a coin and whoever got it right won. Throughout the years, Epic have allowed leakers to share in-game files and anything they find in-game, but they didn't want them to leak Chapter 3 before it was officially announced. So they reached out to leakers, asking them not to spoil anything, except Epic Games messed up and ended up accidentally leaking the event and Chapter 3 themselves just a few days later. And did you know, Prince Harry here from the UK said in 2019 that Fortnite was an addiction to keep you in front of your computer as long as possible, and the game shouldn't be allowed, which Epic Games responded saying that they were quite taken aback, but of course didn't ban the game despite Harry's request. Epic recently announced that there are over 800 million users across Fortnite, Fall Guys, Rocket Leagues, and the Epic Games Store, with over 6 billion friend connections between all the accounts. And as much as people hated Coral Castle in Chapter 2 Season 3, we almost could have seen it removed, as there was an actual landmark in Florida called Coral Castle who went ahead and sued Epic Games for using their name, but we never know what happened from this court case, and Coral Castle stayed in game for the rest of Chapter 2, so I guess nothing happened. And it's now well known that Donald Mustard, who created most of the Fortnite story, has a brother who creates Fortnite content called Mustard Plays. And back in 2017, when Fortnite was super early, the two brothers played together on stream for 3 hours. Donald Mustard talked about a lot of things he'd love to bring to the game, with almost all of them ultimately happening, most of them years later, including lightsabers and swords, a railgun, umbrella rewards for win counts, pepper speed consumables, cars, legendary shotguns, and weapon attachments. And after that stream, Epic never allowed Donald Mustard to go on a stream again. And after years of waiting, we finally got Peter Griffin in Fortnite, but his original design was going to show him being his typical fat Peter Griffin self. He was originally going to be one of the hunters back in Chapter 2 Season 5, and there were a lot of leaks around the time which showed him coming to the game. We obviously had to wait all the way till Chapter 5 to get him in-game, and they completely changed the way that he looked. We all know and love the classic tactical shotgun, but not many players know that if you take a closer look, there's an actual screen on the gun where they're literally playing the classic mobile game Snake on the shotgun. And a feature that I loved that dropped in Chapter 1 Season 6 would see your Fortnite character moving their lips at the same time that you talked using the in-game chat feature. Only a small percentage of players got early access to this feature, and they never decided to fully release it, despite how cool it was. And originally, cosmetics were going to be even more customizable, as you can see this early locker concept from 2018. You could even mix skins together and do skydive tricks as you fly towards the ground. All really cool ideas, but none of them ended up happening. What about the Fortnite movie? Well, we now know that in late 2019, Sony were in talks with Epic to make an official feature-length Fortnite film. And in early 2020, news broke that Sony had passed on developing this film. It sounds like since then, Epic haven't made any more attempts to make a Fortnite film, But Donald Mustard did say in a recent interview that if it ever did happen, he'd want to oversee it, and I couldn't imagine anyone better to do it. And finally, if you're lucky enough to own a physical copy of Fortnite, it is worth a lot of money. We now all download games digitally, but originally in 2017, you could buy disc copies of Fortnite for the Xbox One and PlayStation 4, with some selling for over $3,000 each, so if you've got one, definitely keep hold of it. I hope you learned something new about Fortnite in this video. Don't forget to put code ALIEN and click on screen here to see things that only lasted a few minutes in Fortnite until Epic had to ban them. It's another super interesting video, so go and watch it. I hope you enjoyed.